Mr. Mader, will you take a roll call?
Mr. Fleming,
Here.
Mr. Hollabaugh,
Here.
Mr. Smollen,
Here.
Mr. Wigan,
Here.
Mrs. Jordan.
Here.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. This time the board will hear comments on agenda-related items. Please approach the microphone, list your name and address, and limit your comments to 5 minutes. No comments? Tim's did it. The 2026 final budget. A resolution of the Board of Supervisors of the Township of West Deer, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, levying the general purposes tax rate for the 2026 tax year at 2.90 mils and the fire tax rate for 2026 at 0.50 mils. Are there any questions regarding the tax levy resolution? Do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-16 levying the general purposes tax rate for the 2026 tax year?
I'll make that motion.
Seconded.
Motion by Mr. Hollabaugh, second by Mr. Smollen. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Attached are the minutes of the regular business meeting of November 19th, 2025. Did I miss one? Told you I would do it today. Gotcha. Sorry. Resolution 2025-17, a resolution adopting the 2026 budget of the Township of West Deer, Allegheny County, PA. Are there any questions regarding the budget? Do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-17, setting the 2026 budget of the Township of West Deer, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania?
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Smollen, second by Mr. Hollabaugh. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Attached to the minutes of the regular business meeting, November 19th, are there any questions? Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
Second.
Bless you. Motion by Mr. Fleming, second by Mr. Hollabaugh. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Attached to the finance officer's report, are there any questions? Do I have a motion to approve the finance officer's report as submitted?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Hollabaugh, second by Mr. Wigan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Attached is a list of bills. Do I have a motion to pay the bills as submitted and all approved reimbursable items in compliance with generally accepted accounting practices?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wigan, second by Mr. Hollabaugh. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Attached is a police chief's report. We had a very successful toy drive. Would you like to say anything about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We held our annual toy drive, and we met with families last Wednesday to disperse gifts. We were able to help 128 children in the Deer Lake School District and 55 families. Each child was able to receive at least 8 toys. We were able to give a $50 voucher for shoes for each of the 128 children. And we were able to give a Shop and Save gift card for a Christmas meal to each of the 55 families. Plus, we were able to supply coats, hats, gloves for the children also. So, thank you.
So we thank you and Jen for doing that. I know she puts in a lot of work towards that, so that can't
That had to
go.
be your biggest one yet, was it not?
One of them, yes. It's up there.
There was toys everywhere in here.
All right, Public Works Foreman's report. Are there any questions regarding that report? Attaches the engineer's report submitted by Shoup Engineering. Are there any questions? Anything to add, Scott?
Nothing, Dan.
Okay. Attaches the Planning, Zoning, and Code Enforcement report. Are there any questions? Attaches a Parks and Recreation report. Are there any questions? So I know that we had, this past Sunday, we had breakfast with Santa in conjunction with number 1 Fire Hall. We appreciate that. I don't know the final number, but there was a lot of kids there considering how cold it was, because it was cold and snowy and it wasn't pretty, but it was a nice event. We appreciate that. We have on our desk the report from number 1 fire hall. Are there any questions or any comments? Attached is West Tier number 2's report. Are there any questions?
No, we should give them a shout out too. They took Santa Claus around about 1,000,000 times. I know I saw them out a whole bunch.
I think all the departments did, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I saw number 2. So
We should give them all three a shout out for that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Attached is number 3's report. Are there any questions? Attached is the EMS report. Any questions? Bill, do you have any comments? We got your memo. Any questions for Bill?
Bill, can you elaborate on what you've been working on? It's just in social media.
All it's been is two like-minded services talking about how to provide better service. I don't know if anybody saw the release that we did last week was kind of hurried. I talked to Mr. Mayor last week and kind of explained over why. We don't want to be a service that finds ourselves impaired. We're doing very well right now. And same with Foxwell, we're both doing very well right now. We just don't want to ever get to a point to where, what about tomorrow? What about next month? So we're just exploring options to working together, looking at some outside consultants to try to give us a better, outside third-party view of things and see what we can do. The goal is to provide, we already think we provide pretty good thin services, providing making better. So.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Adoption of resolution number 2025-18, the firefighter EIT credit rosters as per ordinance number 418, which established an EIT credit for fire and EMS volunteers. A notarized roster must be submitted to and reviewed by the township manager, then accepted by the Board of Supervisors. A resolution approving the volunteers who appear on the notarized list submitted by the respective fire chiefs for the 2025 tax year and who have been verified by the township manager. Are there any questions? Do I have a motion to adopt resolution number 2025-18, approving the volunteers that appear on the notarized list submitted by fire chiefs and verified by the township manager?
Make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Smolin, second by Mr. Fleming. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Mayor, will you take a vote?
Mr. Smolin,
Yes.
Mr. Whittigan,
Stand.
Mr. Fleming,
Yes.
Mr. Holbaugh,
Yes.
Mrs. Jordan.
Yes.
I'm sure the motion carries 4-0 with one abstention.
Thank you. Adoption of resolution 2025-19, Secretarial Union Agreement. Resolution of the Board of Supervisors of the Township of West Deer, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, ratifying the negotiated agreement by and between West Deer Township and the Teamsters Local Union 205, Secretarial Union, effective January 1, 2026, and running through December 31st, 2028, and approving and authorizing the execution of said agreement as presented. Are there any questions? Do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-19, approving and authorizing the execution of the Teamsters Local Union 205 Secretarial Union as presented?
I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. Fleming, second by Mr. Smolin. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Adoption resolution 2025-20 sewer planning module for McIntyre Heights. A resolution approving the DEP sewage facilities planning module for the McIntyre Heights PRD. Mr. Shoup reviewed the PA Department of Environmental Protection planning module documents and found the planning module to be in proper order. Mr. Shoup therefore recommended that it be approved by the township. Mr. Shoup, anything to add?
Not really. This is, the developers, engineers finally finalized the DEP planning module documents and they're in a position to be approved at this point. So I would recommend approval.
Thank you. Any other questions by the board? Do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-20, approving the PA DEP sewage facilities planning module for the McIntyre Heights PRD?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Hollenboss, second by Mr. Fleming. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Authorization for the advertisement hearing, advertising for Pittsburgh National Golf Club, PRD. The applicant is Traditions of America. The location is Monier Road and Links Way, containing 188.74 acres. The lot and block number is 2011-E is an egg -0058. Zoning districts R1 rural residential and R2 semi-suburban residential. The request is propose a planned residential development consisting of 163 family homes. The applicant is requesting a planned residential development in the R1 residential and R2 semi-suburban residential zoning districts. Are there any questions regarding the advertisement of the Pittsburgh National Golf Club, PRD?
Madam Chair, I do have some additional information to share with the board on this one. The applicant, Traditions of America, had reached out to the township, and the applicant's attorney separately reached out to me today. We were informed that the TOA plans to submit a second application to develop the same property with the same amount of homes, same amount of residential units, 163. With the change that, although we have not seen the plan, we understand that the change, at least in the applicant's mind, would not require any of the modifications that were requested in this current pending application. So the long and the short of it, as was discussed at the Planning Commission meeting during the applicant's presentation, is they feel that they can preserve a good portion of the golf course, have the same amount of units, and have less impact as far as earth moving and kind of the environmental features if those modifications were granted. Now, the Planning Commission recommended denial of the application at their meeting, finding that the applicant did not meet the legal requirements to obtain these modifications. So we understand that the new application that will be coming in is going to, again, be for the same property, the same amount of units, but essentially will remove all of the golf course features, essentially redevelop the entire property, and will not require any modifications. And they believe that they meet all of the legal requirements for approval. So it's a little unusual to have an applicant submit two applications for essentially the same project at the same property. And we believe that their request is to postpone this first hearing, although we don't have a written extension yet, but we were promised one if we wanted one. A request to postpone this first hearing so that both hearings could be held in February. And because if there is an application filed, before the end of the year, as is expected, that will need to follow the same process as every other application. They'll need to meet with the pre-application conference with the township. It will need to go before the Township Planning Commission for recommendation, then ultimately hearing. The board has 60 days from the date of the application to commence the hearing. So that would be teed up for a February hearing. I think both Mr. Shook in his call and I in my call pushed back on that plan. Frankly, I think it would be confusing to the public. I think it'd be confusing to the board. Not that the board is not capable of understanding that there's two different applications, two different plans, but pretty clearly it's the attempt to show that, hey, this is it could be far worse if the second version is pushed through. So with all that said, there's no legal requirement that we vote and actually set a public hearing as long as, everyone checks everybody's schedules and we do the proper advertisements. But there's also nothing to stop the board from going ahead to approve scheduling this hearing for January 21st on this pending application, as is proposed in the motion here for 6 p.m. before the actual meeting. Now, I think I had talked to Mr. Bader, Mr. Shook, a 6 p.m. start. Yeah, I think you want to make sure that the public can get there, but I'll forewarn everyone that due to the amount of opposition at the Planning Commission, it would not surprise me if that hearing runs well in excess of an hour, and we can always, cut it off at some point and continue it and finish it at another time. So we could still plan on starting, 7:30-ish, even if it's still going. So with all that said, and certainly I don't want the board to provide any comments on the merits of the application because, the board is going to be sitting in its quasi judicial capacity and needs to hear the evidence and look at the ordinance. And we need to talk about, compliance issues. But purely on the scheduling issue, which is before the board tonight, I'm open to hearing the thoughts of the board. If you have questions for me, I'm happy to try to answer those, or Mr. Shook or Mr. Shoup.
I agree. I think it would be too confusing trying to look at both plans at the same time. I would move to schedule the hearing for January.
You want to schedule the first one for January? So you motioned that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to schedule it for January 21st.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. So the hearing for the first plan for the Traditions of America will be January 21st, 2026 at 6 PM. Did I take a roll call? No. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of hiring a part-time police officer. The board received the attached memorandum from Chief Loper recommending the hiring of Jacob Lewandowski for the position of part-time police officer. Satisfactory background checks were performed on the candidate. Is he here? How are you? Good. Any questions for our potential part-time officer?
You don't mind signing a 25-year contract if we hire you part-time? Nice.
Do I have a motion to hire Jacob Lewandowski as a part-time police officer of West Deer Township?
I make the motion. Second.
I think we tied Mr. Hall, I believe, motion, Mr. Wigan, I believe, second. Do I have that right? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Authorization of police taser purchase. Attached is a quote for the purchase of police tasers. The following quote has been received. Axon Enterprise, Inc. for a total cost of $122,004. Yearly cost for the next 5 years is $24,400.80. Are there any questions, or Chief Loper, do you have anything to add to that?
The only thing I have to add to that, since we had discussed this during our budget workshops, we actually went back to Taser International and tried to wheel and deal a little bit, and they did bring the price down approximately $14,000 from what I initially presented to the budget. So I understand it's in the budget, but it will be a little bit less than what we budgeted for.
That's good.
How many tasers are you getting?
20.
What are you gonna do with the old ones?
The old one?
Yeah, what do you do
Well,
with
they're
them?
pretty much useless now since they don't make it. The batteries and the cartridges for them, so. We do have some cartridges left over, and what I plan on doing with some of those, is issuing them to our members of the North Hills SRT team, so they can have them with their SWAT equipment, rather than trying to always worry about taking it off their duty belt when they
Yeah.
get dispatched. So
That's good.
we're gonna use them in that capacity until we run out of cartridges or the batteries are completely gone.
Give us an idea of the 24,000 for the year cost. What's that really doing?
That includes, obviously the payment of 20 tasers, 20 holsters. It's unlimited cartridges. In the past, what we had to do was, we qualify with the tasers yearly. And we would have to deploy live, cartridges as a part of the qualification, which we were spending approximately $2,700 to $2,800 for the cartridges for that. Which now this includes cartridges, so we won't have to budget each year for additional cartridges. So that's part of the price. There's a training module that comes with it, which is a VR training where it's a realistic, almost like, for lack of better terms, a video game. It's live scenarios in which the equipment's included in that price. The training equipment where it presents officers with scenarios of whether or not they use lethal force or less lethal force. So it's a great training aid. in which I explained during the budget workshop too, we can make it available to board members, to other staff here, or to members of the community. So they could see what the officers go through, you know, when they're presented with, unfortunately, you know, an incident where they have to make that split-second decision. So it's going to be very beneficial for us, and that's something else that we can share with our neighboring departments, because we do our defensive tactics training with Hampton in Indiana. Our guys train them, and they both have the same tasers, but they do not have that training equipment.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
we're able to share that with mutual aid also.
So this is 122 spread out over 5 years.
Correct. Yeah, everything's a payment.
Do I have a motion to authorize the purchase of the police tasers to Axon Enterprise in the total amount of $122,004 with a yearly cost of $24,400.80?
Could you add to that a subject to the solicitor's review of the sales documents?
Pending solicitor's review of the documents.
Yeah.
Make the motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wiggins, second by Mr. Hollibaugh. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Authorization for the Senior Center automatic door purchase and installation. The Senior Center has requested the entrance doors to the building be upgraded to automatic doors. The following quotes were received for the automatic door controls. Allegheny Safe and Lock, $3,518.32. Automated Entrance Systems Company Incorporated, $4,200. And the following quote was received to replace the doors. Allegheny Safe and Lock, $6,735.48. Mr. Mater.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As I stated in my manager's report to the board, we are waiting for an invoice proposal from a company to provide for aluminum doors like this with glass and aluminum instead of metal. We received that proposal, and that total was $13,000 for the openers and the doors. Allegheny Safe and Lock gave us a proposal of $6,735.48 for a metal door with glass and or steel door, and their opener cost was $3,518.32. When you combine both of those, it comes to $10,253.80, which is approximately $3,000 less than going with the aluminum doors. And what we are waiting for, and I've received confirmation today from Mrs. Fay who runs the CYA / the Senior Center, was an image of the door, and I asked her if that was okay with her, and she said absolutely, the metal door was fine. So my recommendation to the board is to go with the Allegheny Safe and Lock opener cost with the Allegheny Safe and Lock metal door for a total of $10,253.80.
Any other questions?
Just a comment. I think if for the difference between the steel door and the aluminum door, I think we'd be better off spending the extra money and buying an aluminum door. The doors up there rust pretty easily, and then they have a problem opening. I just think that an aluminum door would serve a better purpose up there.
Is there a warranty?
I don't know that.
And you wouldn't have to worry about painting them.
So I'll read this motion. We'll see where we go with this one. Do I have a motion to authorize the purchase, installation of an automatic door at the Senior Center to Allegheny Safe and Lock in the total amount of $10,253.80?
Is this the aluminum door we're making a
The
motion?
original steel,
Okay.
no motion? So we want aluminum doors?
How much more were the aluminum doors?
For the aluminum doors, it's $13,000, and that's going with the automated entrance systems, which the board does not have in front of it. So if the board wants to go with aluminum doors, which I'm absolutely, whatever the board decides,
It's extra $3,000 for.
I would recommend just going with the opener and then getting the doors later. They need the openers now because these are seniors and they have problems.
What are
It's
they
hard.
open, they open her up to? What's the door in there now?
It's still, it's metal, yes.
And they're heavy.
Guaranteed.
But these ones have an opener?
Yeah, when that's what we talked about that. I spoke about that with CYA, and they said that, with the opener, that basically obviates that problem. You don't have to worry about it. The doors are heavy, but you have an automatic opener, open them now.
Why can't we just make the motion to put the aluminum doors in now?
Because we don't have,
We don't have an actual quote just
Oh,
for
we
the
don't.
aluminum doors.
We would have to table it till
we know that
January.
it's,
Yeah, that's fine.
we know that it's
It's about
3,000.
$3,000 more. If anybody's priced doors lately, I know I priced the front door for my house. Doors have gone through the roof. Doesn't sound like too terrible of a price. Crazy.
Another option for the board is you could, and I'm sure Mr. Robbie to opine on this, but the board could authorize the purchase, the amount to Allegheny Safe and Lock for the opener, and then a cost not to exceed for an aluminum door.
Is he gonna charge us to take the?
Because it was
opener from one
it's
door?
basically $6,500 for each, the opener and the door from one company.
And he'll just transfer those to the new doors? The opener,
Yes.
I think better to do two, so just do the motion for the opener now and then come back with a quote in January.
I'll make the motion for the opener.
I'll second it.
So we're going with Allegheny Safe and Lock in the amount of $4,200, Mike.
$3,518.32.
You're right. I'm sorry. I looked at the wrong line. Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, so I have a motion to award the bid to Allegheny Safe and Lock for $3,518.32. A motion by Mr. Hollenbaugh,
Yes.
second by Mr. Wigan.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I would just suggest that we try to get as big of a window as we can in those aluminum doors. That way the people walking out don't hit somebody trying to walk in. I know that's a big complaint up there right now because the windows are very small.
So new business for future discussion or action? I would like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and to formally announce that the annual reorg meeting of the Board of Supervisors will take place Monday, January 5th at 7 p.m. And now we will take public comments on non-agenda matters of general township concern. Please approach the microphone, list your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Jeff Matthews, Dana Drive, which is Oakwood Heights, which is Bedford, is what I'm learning. But I'm glad that Mr. Dan is here and our engineer. We're having conflicting conversations with our developer. I bought my house in February 2025, and there was one 2 weeks later, and that was the last house in the plan. And we're still paying for cleaning our streets and other charges. The developer tells us that there's 3 things that need to be completed. One, have to put an inch of dirt up to the curb along all the curbing. Drawings of right of ways. Does that make sense?
That's done.
Okay, and then street signs. He said he was never told about that, which I can't believe a word he says. He said he ordered them, and I don't know if he got them.
So the backfilling of the curbs, it was backfilling of the curbs and backfilling of the trail that ultimately connects over to the barn. Those can be items that obviously at this time of year can be addressed next year. The signage, the right-of-way drawings, which are now done
Okay.
in a maintenance bond, are the necessary items to get this moving forward. And I would hope that come January supervisors meeting,
What a great day.
in a position to make it happen.
Thank you very much.
If you're talking to the developer,
Yeah.
tell them to please contact the township.
Yeah, he's.
We'll hope we-
My time works not here, but, we best divided to thank Dan. I've never met him before. We changed emails, gets back like the same day. He got us an actually road sign up on the VFW. And, took him about 2 weeks. So, my 5 minutes mountain view were the 2, 1 lane detours are? Is that a state road or is it?
State.
Thank you. And then, so, thanks. And then you went through all my questions. Thank you very much.
I have a procedural question. If he does what he needs to do before the next meeting, don't we have to put that into the form of an ordinance and advertise it? So wouldn't that require another month?
Yes.
You're saying
We'd have,
Yes, because you have to advertise the ordinance and then voters fill in.
you need a motion.
It could just be done. As a matter of fact, we have started drafting the ordinance already based on the information that you provided, Mr. Shoup. So we will endeavor, if the developer does what he needs to do, to have the ordinance in place for possible consideration by the board at the January 21st meeting.
And we'll pray that we don't get any snow until that meeting.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Thank you.
Vicki Austin, Hemlock Street. First, I want to thank our current board for their work. And I also want to wish everyone in the room a happy holiday season. During hearings, the gas well drillers assured us that they would be quote unquote good neighbors. We all know the township issues in the past months with Megan's Law offenders. EQT has workers who reside on the Leto site. Are you aware that one of the residents on Leto is also a Megan's Law offender? Although the Leto site is now quiet, those of us in the densely populated Bairdford community recently experienced many days and nights of continual noise, loud noise without pause. This noise was audible at quite a distance, but distressing in close proximity. The week of October 28th to November 4th, which happened to be a comparatively low-volume noise period, I had an Optimus Green outdoor sound measurement kit with a Cirrus 1720 sound level meter placed on my property. Although noise did not exceed our township ordinance, the night sound levels recorded during that somewhat quiet week exceeded EPA recommended levels. Those sitting before me had a chance to increase gas and oil setbacks when you created our new ordinance. Because drillers can extend their lateral gathering lines 5 miles or more, increased setbacks would have no effect on West-Deer leaseholders' ability to profit from their land. It would have been a win-win to extend setbacks and would have demonstrated your concern in protecting residents, again, with zero impact on leaseholders. It doesn't have to be this way. I want to ask each of you who voted for current setbacks if you would agree to having an audio recording of Leto made during a noisy period played in front of your home continuously for 48 to 72 hours at the exact decibel level as I hear at my home, so that you can truly experience our reality in my neighborhood. Any takers? If this noise level is acceptable and not disruptive, why would you not agree to it? And I'm providing handouts from the Megan's Law website and data from the noise study to each of you.
Thank you. You want one? Mhm. Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Tammy Calvert. I live at 846 Ashley Road. Following up on what my neighbor Jeff had brought up previously, we have an HOA that has been currently footing the bill for our snow removal and road maintenance, and many of us have lived there 2+ years. So is that the case with all developments in this township, that the HOA takes care of the roads until the developer gives that over to the municipality?
Not just this township, but all townships. It's either the developer or the HOA. That's worked out between those two parties, but it's not a public issue until they become dedicated and accepted as public roads.
Okay, so we have school buses that travel on these roads currently, and we have no stop signs at intersections. We have a landscaping company that is not compliant with clearing the roads until after the school bus is already gone. So we've been paying taxes at that municipality level for over 2 years. These are 400,000 plus homes. This is not a small amount of money that
The township's not even allowed, even if we wanted to, we couldn't maintain it until it becomes dedicated by the developer and accepted as a public street.
So there's nothing you can do to help us.
You need to work it out with the developer, as we explained
We
earlier,
can't
unfortunately.
we can't get a hold of the developer. I've called, I know other people have called, left messages. Is there anything you can do to hold his feet to the fire since you approved this plan?
We can only, there's nothing more we can do.
Question, Gavin, is it possible to offer to the HOA a winter maintenance agreement like we offered to the developer?
I mean, that can be done. I think in this case, since we're so close to accepting it, that probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't know what Westier's history is with those sorts of agreements, but I have seen that done in other municipalities where they would contract with the township. It would still be an HOA cost, so that if you have a snow removal company, it's not all that different.
I don't know what they're paying now, but my concern would be for the school buses.
Last year, we paid over $38,000 in snow removal. The HOA, so.
No, that includes the sidewalks and
Yeah,
the driveways.
Sidewalks are included in the HOA fee. We know we're incurring that ongoing. All we're asking for are the roads. And like I said, we have school buses that travel on those roads too.
The 38,000 was just for the roads?
Yes,
I
so.
want to put a bid in.
For thought. We just wanted to see if you could help us in any way because we can't get a hold of this developer. So we thought maybe the township might carry a little more weight.
You may want to talk to legal counsel, see what your rights are.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I would be open to
Any-
offering a winter maintenance agreement to move this along.
I think we need to do that, talk about it. I mean, let's cover it, get it done. And we did that when I was in.
So what, Gavin?
What do we need to do?
Yeah, I mean, we just need to discuss, talk to Public Works, talk about what the cost would be. We could present an agreement, but again, in this case, it's going to be public probably in about a month. So, I don't, hopefully, right? Exactly. Hopefully the developer finally does these last few punch list items. But by the time we would approve a winter maintenance agreement, it would be the same time we'd be accepting it as public road. So,
Another storm like that. What are we gonna do?
well, they have a snow removal company that handles it. Unfortunately, it's a cost that they're bearing that they wouldn't otherwise be bearing if it was a public
But it
road.
was
So,
a time factor they were talking about, wasn't there for the school buses.
well, I think they need to talk to their contractor and get them there earlier and get them to do a better job. I mean, again, it's unfortunately our hands are sort of tied at this point. I'm not unsympathetic, but when we could prepare, I mean, there could be emergency measures taken to have another public meeting, approve another contract. But again, I think by the time you get through all those machinations, it's just not going to make a material difference.
Is it something that we could add to our reorganization meeting in January, early January?
Depends on how you advertise your organization meeting.
I was gonna suggest that.
And so we could, and even if you have advertised, we could run a new advertisement and have a special meeting sort of tacked on, it would be tacked on to the end of that reorganization meeting. And it could be simply for that purpose. If you want to task Mr. Mader and his team with developing the parameters and then having the conversation with the HOA about whether or not they want to enter into a short-term sort of emergency basis winter maintenance agreement.
Till we get this clear.
So that would be essentially covering January 5th to hopefully only January 21st, but it's something that could be done.
I think we need to be proactive and not wait around, wait and see kind of thing.
So, Mr. Mader, would you be able to talk
Tack that
to?
on to the January meeting.
I'll see what I can do. We'd have basically 2 days before the holidays. We'll do what we can.
And I'll work with Mr. Mayor on scheduling the special meeting and, you know, getting the finer points of that agreement together. So if we can get it done, we'll try to have something ready for the board on the 5th.
And just to let the board know, I met with the HOA from Oakwood too. They came up here and actually met with me, so we gave them as much ammo as we could for them to go forward to the developer.
Yeah, who's the developer again?
Slow down his inspections on his other.
Like that's.
That's a bit of leverage we do not have, but I understand the comment.
I'm sorry, sir, go ahead. Your name?
I'm Neil McFadden. I reside at 1164 Links Way, and I'm on the Homeowners Association board at Deer Run. I'd like to ask for 2 points of clarification on the Pittsburgh National PRD public hearing. The 121 hearing, is that for the original PRD only? It will not involve the second plan.
That's correct. The second no application has been filed for the second plan. We've just been told it will be filed soon.
Answered my second question. So the clock has not started for the second plan.
That's correct.
Thank you, sir.
Is there anything stopping them from proposing that plan? The second?
There is not. If they're willing to spend the time and money to jump through those hoops, even though in theory they could be approved on the first plan without having filed a second plan, I'm not aware of any basis that would prevent it.
Thank you.
Well,
Anyone else? Good.
At Wineberry Drive. I'm here for the dog shelter. Is there any update? It's been like 3 months. Is there any progress or anything to talk about?
Mr. Mayor, do you want to?
Yeah, we're actually meeting tomorrow. We've met with Mrs. Pasquale and I are meeting tomorrow with the architects.
With Barb too?
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's Mrs. Pasquale. Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I'm bringing it up is the water hose that is now down there it's frozen. So is there anything we could do with the water? Is there, you know?
I know that we offered a water buffalo and she wasn't interested in that.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of tough with the people that volunteer there. Usually, you know, women, it's hard to carry all that water. But what had happened here was 2 days ago, we got 9 dogs from a shelter and another shelter. And if we didn't take them in, they would have been, well, executed today. So we took them in. So we're there, Barb set up, you know, with the shots and we're trying to make them comfortable. All the volunteers were there and we had no water. We can't clean them, you know, try to get it, you know, sanitized. So we brought in, you know, we're carrying gallons of water and people are going to their houses and bringing warm water over. It doesn't make any sense to me that that's how we have to run that. So I just, maybe, you know, when you talk to just, let's get this going, you know, we don't want to have to continually do this, you know. My question too is the water line that ran to the old building, okay, it's underground. Is it possible if we turned it on at the curb box that the water would go to the building? Does anybody know that? No, it's cut off. Cut off where?
At the old building, at the front of the old building. The issue is this, Mr. Wood. Originally, that concrete slab was to be removed. They cut the water off at the front of the building. They cut the water off at the back of the building. When that concrete slab was removed, the Public Works Department was going to work with the dog, I'm sorry, Oakmont. The contractor who was doing the demolition. Work with him. They were going to trench. They were going to connect the 2 pipes. All it is 2 fittings and a length of pipe, and it's connected.
Yeah.
The concrete pad's still there. Now, we've been talking recently, I've been speaking with people about the possibility of saw cutting that pad, because as of right now, what we'd have to do is go the entire way around the building, or as Mr. Fleming mentioned a couple months to me, boring. And either one of those are extremely expensive. So.
But where you had it cut off, you know, going to the building and going to the curb, you can't just put it together?
No, because there's a huge concrete slab in between them.
No, but we could saw
But the
cut and ditch,
lines-
we could saw cut and ditch witch.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we're talking about doing.
Yeah, that would be.
Our guys don't have that with the caissons and the slab itself, we don't have anything can get down that far.
So you're saying it's disconnected underneath the slab somewhere?
No, it's disconnected in front of the building. Right near the monument. I don't know if you saw when
But that's
When
what
they
I'm saying,
tore down
can't
the
we put it
building.
Together right there.
you could, but you have to be able to get it from there to the back of the building.
You'd have to dig through parking lots if you don't saw cut.
Yes.
But I'm just curious, but the water line is still underneath the slab going to the
No,
building?
It never was.
It never was.
It came to the front of the building, went up and over through the ceiling and then down. That's what happened.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
If it was underneath the slab, we'd have no
Yeah, that's what I was
problem.
gonna say, just connect it. You
Right.
know, we could turn on the curb, see where it leaks, you know, fix it and just run it to the building. But there's gotta be something that you guys can figure out to do there because it's, you know, it's just, you need water.
Yeah.
I mean, animals need water, you know, you need it for, well, you know what you need water for, cleaning.
Yeah, with the
Keep it
development of the new building too. I mean,
I'm
there
sorry?
may be a little while yet before everything's up and running, so that's not a terrible idea, maybe. we
Now,
could-
speaking of the building, okay, are we going back to, you know, renovating and extending the existing building?
We don't know that yet. That's why we're
When
meeting
do
with the
we know that?
architects.
Because, you know, that came up and it's been coming up. I mean, at some point, we got to get on that because we don't want to be here next winter saying, hey, the hose is frozen again, you know?
How many, I don't remember from our managers. There's been a lot of meetings with Barb, with the architect. There hasn't been nothing. There's a lot going on and, oh, Barb wants to add this and we need to add that and change this. So there's already been a lot of back and forth.
All right,
It's
but
just taking
Barb-
time.
Yeah, Barb told me that she wants it where it's at, the existing building, and to add on to that. She's not interested in doing it or even, you know, approving of it put somewhere else. So whoever thinks that, it's not correct. So when you talk to her, ask her that tomorrow.
Is this the first meeting we're having with the architect tomorrow?
No, there was one other meeting, but it's very preliminary. It's just, they just gave us we met with Mrs. Pasquale, her husband, and myself met. And we just went over what is it she wants in a building. They came up with a preliminary design and there were things that are missing from what she asked. And so then we're meeting tomorrow because she said these things need corrected, or we're just going through that process.
Right, so with the renovation and the annex. One last thing, I happened to get a hold of from the county, the grant application and the contract, you know, for the shelter. And one thing I wasn't too sure about, it had an effective date at 2/19/25. It's when you guys, you know, discussed this and had it signed. And the termination date is 2/18/26 for that 320,000. You know, that's pretty close.
We
you know.
we submitted extension.
There, you did?
We will submit an
Okay,
extension.
all right. Well, let's not go too far with it either, so we're not here next year. But in that application though, which I'm assuming you probably wrote the application, which was very well written too. And it says after the demo, the renowned West Deer Dog Shelter would not be able to operate. I mean, you understand the problem there, you know? I mean, you know that you wrote it down. It's not operating the way it should be. So I just want to, you know, there should be some urgency to this because, you know, you nailed the problem right off the bat. And the solution, and it says to run the utilities and take the old carport, 26 by 30, and renovate and expand the shelter. You know, add the restroom, office, laundry, everything that they need. It sounds like you have the answer. You know what I mean? That's the solution. That was the solution you put in the application too.
Excuse me, sir, I apologize. Your 3 minutes is well beyond up.
Okay.
I told
Well,
you.
that's my last question.
All right.
You can
thanks.
call Mr. Mater. He's
Yeah.
available. I know
Seriously? 'Cause
he's
Barbara
taking
said-
some time off for the holiday, but maybe after the first of the year.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the best thing to do is just call him directly and get the
Yeah,
answers.
okay, great, because there's just these little things, and, you know, with Barb too, you know. She asked me,
Sir,
okay.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say that I'm sorry it's come to this. This is what I was afraid of, you know, it freezing in the winter. Is there a possibility, is it frozen at the building?
Not here?
Yeah.
No. And what we advise her to do is keep it dripping. I know, I know people say wastewater, but that's pennies compared to, and so if they forget to do that, that's when it freezes. But as long as it's left dripping, it doesn't freeze.
In the meantime, can we get them another hose temporarily so that they can?
Well, that's what,
Estimate
Hook it up.
to put it back together, so.
yeah, well, that's what we asked, we offered last year, like Mrs. Jordan said, it was almost a year ago to this date. When the water was shut off, we offered a water buffalo, which would basically do the same thing because I'm sure Mr. Wood knows this, the only thing that's, fed by that water line is a wash basin. There's one wash basin in there. A water buffalo, they wouldn't have to lift anything. We could just connect it right to it. We offer all different suggestions. The water line, the hose seemed to make the most sense. And I know it freezes in the winter, but as long as she leaves it dripping and it doesn't freeze, it's good to go in the meantime.
Well,
Not ideal, but
I would be in favor of getting a new hose so they can hook it up temporarily, getting a water buffalo or making the connection as soon as possible.
So I think the issue is Barb is like, she was offered 85 cases of water to make sure the dogs at least had fresh, not ideal. She didn't want it. She didn't want a water buffalo. And she's like, no, don't want it, don't want it. I don't know why, but I'm not saying that's the perfect solution, but it was a temporary solution to the problem. So I think maybe Mr. Wood, you can talk to her and take these donations to help the dogs have at least fresh water, and then to wash things, yeah, that's going to be a different story, but at least the animals are having fresh water. She specifically, they were going to be delivered here. She said no. So that's also an issue that I don't know where that comes from, but it should have been absolutely. It could have been stored anywhere, but at least the dogs would have fresh bottled water for free.
What about an estimate to ditch which line?
we're working on that. Because again, our public works guys have the ability to saw cut concrete, but not that deep. So, but I spoke with, Mr. Wolozek's not here, but Mr. Wolozek works in that line of work. He stopped up and met with me. He said he's going to try getting, I think, 4-foot wheel, something like that to get down deep.
How deep was the concrete?
We don't know that. It's not just the concrete, it's the caissons. It's the fact that concrete didn't crack anywhere with that machine, that piece of heavy equipment on top of it. So that has to be a very thick slab. And from what the demo contractor mentioned was that the caissons were the problem. That's why he was trying so hard not to have to remove that slab, because he was worried about the caissons underneath the footers.
I agree with Jim. I don't think it's deeper than 6 inches thick, 7 inches thick. I think we could.
If it was 6 inches, I don't know how that machine didn't crack it, because it was right on top of it, going back and forth.
I don't think it would have.
Okay.
I'd be in favor of making a connection as soon as possible.
I just want to talk a little bit about the dog shelter. I think Mr. Hallwell has a great insight, and yeah, why don't we just rip a ditch? And I agree. It's probably back then in the 50s when it was done, concrete hardens harder and harder every year. So it could be 8 inches and not crack to have an excavator on it. That is the best idea. Also to just replace the hose. Have you tried to put heat tape on the hose maybe?
I didn't understand what you meant by replacing the hose, because the hose is not broken.
No, but if it's frozen,
Yeah.
rather than waiting for it to thaw out, get another hose so they can make a temporary connection.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, a second hose is going to basically.
Yeah, don't put it where the first hose is, just make it temporary so they can
Just
hook it up
connect and
daily.
then run a new hose, drag that one in, thaw it. And you can put a heat tape on the hose too, so it doesn't freeze, instead of letting it run. But ultimately, I think Mr. Hallball and Mr. Smullen's, ideas of let's just fix it and put a new line in.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Hello, Merry Christmas to all.
Thank you.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention something.
Name and address, please.
Name Robert Bros, address 850 Ashley Road, and I'm also in Oakwood Heights. Just a few additional comments. I came in here today a little frustrated. I'm leaving today with a much better feeling that there is empathy from our fellow residents here. I'm very appreciative to those who want to try to think outside the box. I just want to add a couple comments real quick, be under my 3 minutes. Our HOA, speaking to them, is part of the problem. They really are not reactive or proactive to anything. So we're not getting anywhere with those situations. The JML contractor that they hired was hired by them. We had no input into it, so we're stuck with them. If you look them up on the web, they're a commercial landscaping, they do hospitals. So there is no way, excuse me, there's no way they're gonna come and do us before they do the
Prioritize.
hospitals or the schools.
So you don't have the ability to get rid of them?
Nope, we can't do anything. We can't do anything better with them. And we don't have any ability to bring in a new contractor within the next 30 days. So I love that you guys are empathetic to it. So we just, as the residents of Oakwood Heights, appreciate you guys trying to do something, anything you can think of, because God forbid, I got 4 grandchildren. If there's another snowfall and something happens that's catastrophic, I think everyone here is going to feel terrible, just because we simply didn't have something in place that was official and, met all the guidelines and is by the law, so to speak.
But we can't legally go on it. That is the issue.
But there's ways that we're looking at.
Oh, there
getting-
definitely is.
We're gonna try our hardest.
Exactly, and that's all I wanted to say
Is-
was. we
When you
appreciate
signed
that.
your HOA, were there time specifications that were supposed to be met on the contract?
Oh, yeah. And I know from what I've heard,
Did you get legal counsel to see if you have to continue paying on that HOA?
that's a good question for us as homeowners, but that's us going against our own.
Somebody was paying me $38,000 for
Yeah.
the little bit of snow we had so far this year, and I couldn't be there by 6 AM.
We also have some elections that are overdue. So for the HOA, think the people, I wanted to point this out too. Anybody from the HOA here today? No, from the HOA board. That's where they're not active, so we'll take care of that. But what you can do to help us, we really appreciate, so thank you.
Thank you.
So maybe something else to check with the HOA is if you have an out clause with that contract. And we're gonna see what we can do to speed things up and possibly get a winter maintenance.
And that was one of the comments I was gonna make is, can we get somebody to put the signs up and put the dirt in? I mean, can we just say
The
the
engineer,
developer goodbye? And us-
the engineer's trying, he's saying.
He's raising.
I was gonna say, the two of the items for the developer are the street signs and the stop signs. So,
I'll go buy it myself.
Okay.
I didn't know if that's a legal thing to do. I don't want to visit from you saying, what are you doing?
Just so you know too, we do have options in a state of emergency. So, I mean, I'm concerned about any little snow or ice in the school buses, but
And just as another note, too, it's kind of frustrating. My office is in the front of my house, looking out the front. And our wonderful West Year road crews snow plow up to the beginning of our development, lift their plow up, go past our street, put the plow back down and do the next neighborhood. It's extremely frustrating when we're part of it. And I understand you guys have, it was a little, it's hard to kind of take the thought. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, before I move to adjourn this meeting, this is my last meeting after 8 years. It's been an honor to serve my community, to be voted in 2 terms. Hasn't been easy to be mocked, laughed at in a meeting and all these social media things. It's not easy at all, but I guess that's what you sign up for. My hope moving forward is a lot of that nonsense stops. It's very childish. It's not a good look. It's just not. We have a phenomenal staff. It's been an honor to work with all of you. I mean that genuinely. We work really well together. We do get things done. I hear a lot, oh, you don't listen. Well, just, if you don't vote in your favor, it doesn't mean we didn't hear you. The vote is the vote. I'm 1 vote. I'm the last vote. I'm the tiebreaker. So hopefully we can, but with the Facebook name calling and, I think we should work harder on bringing the community together, not trying to be troublemakers online. And that has made me very sad about this position. And I hope that it stops. And I wish the new board the best of luck and Merry Christmas.
On behalf of the board as well, I would like to.
Hello. On behalf of the board, I'd like to just say thank you to Bev and Jim. Jim is also leaving. We're going to miss both of them. We do have a little something for you guys that
you.
just a spark of appreciation to say thank you for all the
Thank you.
time you guys have spent on the board.
Appreciate
And
that.
people don't realize how much time you have away from your family sometimes whenever you have meetings and special meetings and.
So I could say, my son said to me, I'd like to come up and just say that I'm proud of you, Mom, because the time that I've given to this township is
you
times
guys-
that I've been away from my family,
You and Jim
including
both
the 14 years
appreciate
before
it.
on Parks and Rec. So laugh all you want, but we've given a lot of time to this township.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I
On
appreciate
on
that.
behalf of the board, we'd all like to say thank you for that.
Thank you.
Hey, Bev, I just want to say one more thing. You know, you've given up 8 years for this board membership and doing what you do. You have to make hard decisions for people that don't understand the decisions you got to make. And it's a shame that you had to go through the ridicule that you had to go through. But all I want to tell you is you're a better person for it and you've done a great job doing it.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Jeff.
Great.
I appreciate it. I do leave with my head held high, so I know the good things that we've done. So thank you.
We appreciate Jim too.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We're going to motion to adjourn at 8:03. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Scott.